Everyone, welcome. I'm Laurie from Laurie's Craft Classes, Laurie's Crafty Creations. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram. A little later in the spiel, I will put all of my info in the chat. I just don't want to do it now and then people coming in don't see it. So today we're doing just a very simple chainmail bracelet. It has a Mobius rose in the center, and I'm going to just bring my camera over and we'll get started. I have some other examples of chainmail to show you. Sorry, my tools always get in the way here when I move my camera over. There we go. Let me switch cameras and we'll have some fun. Okay, so this is my setup. I have my rings here. These are 18 gauge 3/16 rings, and then I have some 16 gauge 3/8 rings and a lobster clasp. These are just a few captures that I've done with chainmail. So these are crystals just captured inside. This is a cabochon captured. These are similar. So I just wanted to show you what you can do. These are little, love this, these are glow-in-the-dark BBs. So for a BB gun, and they're just captured. I use the BBs because they're so precise in size that they work every time. Okay, and this is alligator back, which is a new one that I'm teaching in January through Eventbrite, and I'll try and put the link in the window after. I use Xuron tools pretty much exclusively. They're my favorite tool and they're guaranteed for life. So if you get into doing chainmail, if it's something you enjoy, invest in Xurons. They're about $20 to $25 a pair. All right, and I don't have my visor over here, but I don't need it today. All right, so we're gonna start, and I'm gonna show you how to open and close a jump ring. That's the main thing about chainmail, is just learning this process and perfecting it. So I have my dominant hand horizontal with the opening of the ring at the top. My non-dominant hand is vertical, and I try and get as much of the side of the ring in my pliers as I can. And then my dominant hand is the only one that moves, and it just pivots slightly, and I'm putting a little bit of pressure on it as I'm going, and you'll hear it click. Oh, I put too much pressure on. Give me 1 second. Hear that clicking? That means the two ends are rubbing together. And you want it so that you can't feel it on either side. And so you can't even see the opening there. That's what you want. You can't fit a fingernail down through the opening and you can't feel it on either side. It takes a lot of practice. Don't expect to do it perfectly the first time. So I'm going to do another one, but I'm going to put my lobster clasp on this one. So again, non-dominant hand vertical, dominant hand horizontal, pivot. And I'm going to pick up that ring I closed and my lobster clasp. And I'm just going to close it. Okay, so that's the start of my little bracelet. We're going to do what's called a 1x2. So it's 1 ring by 2 rings. So I'm going to take another ring here. Open it, put it through the first ring, not the lobster. Close it. And now I have 1 ring by 2. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to 1 ring. I'm just grabbing both of those 2 rings and I'm closing this one. So this is just a 1x2 chain. It is the simplest chain other than 1x1, and we're going to do that all the way along. Now another way to do it is to go and practice your closing of your rings and just close a whole pile of them.
Sorry.
And then, yes.
Sorry, Laurie, the description of this class says 2x2 and the photo is 2x2.
Okay, thank you. I switch it up all the time. So we'll do 2x2.
Because that's what I'd started.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know, it's sort of a preference. It's not really a biggie, but we're just going to close a bunch of rings right now. And if you just get a pile of closed rings, now I will move fast at this point just because I can't close rings slowly when I'm just doing a pile. But everybody can work at their own pace. That's the joy of chainmail, because once you learn what you're doing, you can take as much time as you need to. Everything in this is repetitive. We'll do the rows in a moment. I just want to get you started on the chain. I normally start with the rows and then go back to the chain, but I also like to mix it up. So when I have a little pile of rings like this, I usually do about 40. I'll just do 6 right now. What I can do, and I'm going to do 2 by 2, thank you. Just going to take an open ring, go to the 2 that I have here on my chain. Oh, I need one more there. Just going to add one more to the chain. And then when I want to use my closed rings, I will open one ring, pick up 2 of my closed, go through the 2 closed on my chain, close this one, and then I just have to put one more ring in that spot. So it just saves a little bit, and it gives you time to practice your closures. So if you practice closing rings by doing a whole pile beforehand, it helps to give you that knowledge of how they should go before you start the big part. So I'm just going to finish with these 6 rings, well, the 4 here and the 2 that I need, and then we'll get on to the Mobius. The Mobius is the fun part here. And I'm going to use 7 rings, 3, 4, 5, yeah, 7 rings. And you can use as little as 3. And I think I've gotten it up to about 12 rings. But it gets really tight, so it gets a little more difficult. So a little about me. I've been teaching jewelry making for about 10 years now, I think. Mainly chainmail for the last 8. And I just adore chainmail. It's something that the first time I tried it, I was hooked, and I had to go and start buying books and tools, just everything that I could get my hands on to do chainmail. And it is something that I have just excelled at learning. It's funny. I've always loved math, and chainmail uses a lot of math. So it works with my brain. Okay. So this is how we do the 2 by 2 chain. It's very simple, just like that. Now I'm going to set it down, and I'm going to start on my Mobius. So a Mobius is basically where the rings go through one another. So I'm going to start with a gold, doing my Christmas colors here, you know. I'm going to open it slightly and then close it perfectly. The bigger the ring, the harder it is to close, okay, because they warp a little bit on you. There we go. Now I'm going to take my next color, my next ring, and just open this slightly. Open it slightly and drop on your ring, your second ring, or your first ring, I mean, onto the second ring. Close your second ring, and then slide them together, just like that. Now we're going to take our third ring, just slide it open a tiny bit, slip those 2 on it, close it. Now, what we want to do is have them go in the same direction. So you can see they're all going up and over. It's really hard to see on camera, but they're laying together nicely. Now, if I had put this one on and had it trying to go that way, you see it won't go into the group. You have to switch it over. So you always know. Now, the other way of telling, I'm just going to grab a box here, is you drop it. And you see that green one is all flaked out. We flip it over. Sorry, I'm trying to keep my hands out of the way as much as possible. Flip it over. And it goes into the right shape. Let's try that again. There we go. So when you drop it on a hard surface, you can see right away if one needs to be flipped over. And they just ring together like a little rose. Now, when I use the hard surface, I put my finger and thumb like so, just so that I have it open. Now I'm back to gold. So I just take another ring, open it, slide that whole knot or rose onto it, close. Guy closed really well. There's a little bit of an edge. There we go. Fold it, make sure it's going in the same direction, and just finish off. Keep going. So like I said, I'm using 7 rings. You can use 3 up to probably about 12. And you know, the tighter it gets, the harder it is to add another ring to the center to lock it. But 7 works really well. And you can see what a lovely little knot it's forming. And this will be the focal point of our bracelet. And the last one. This one's already closed. I have to find the opening. There we go. Sliding it all on. Sorry, the ring slid on me. I had to reposition. Oh, okay, my ring broke. I've never had a ring break like that. Let me grab one more out. Actually, we'll just make it a 7 or 6 ring rose. So that's what it looks like. They turn out so cute. And all you're going to do is take 2 of your smaller rings. These are the 3/16. Open one. Remember when you're picking this up to grab it so it doesn't slide out. Slide all of them on your 3/16 ring. It's a little tight. Take your time. Not quite going. Let me try again. There we go. Sometimes if you move your pliers, it drops the rings in a bit better and you can get it closed easier. So take another one of your 3/16. You have to open them fairly wide to get it over all of those rings. Close it. Whoops. And just trying to Sorry, there's a TV in the background. Whoops, if you don't mind muting, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Okay, so there are the 2 sides, and that's what our bracelet is going to attach to. So I'm going to just do one side here. You just hook it through the silver one. Close. I tried to be so neat and tidy by having a little tin thing with my rings in it, but I like them just spilt out. So I'm going to go through that ring twice. So there'll be 2 hanging off of the silver ring around the rose, around the rosy. Okay, just like that. I'm going to repeat on the other side, and then we'll just build our bracelet, the chain. Oops. And I will go over the rose once more, so everybody can see it. I can make a couple more. Maybe I'll do 2 on this one just for fun. Okay, so I'm going to do 1 more here. I'll do a second rose for this bracelet. So if it's a little tight there, just because it went on one side of the ring and not the other, I'm just going to try and pull them together. There we go. Okay, so let's do another rose. And I'm just going to grab out the rings again. I do have the big ones here. All right, so I want 3 gold. Oh, 2 gold because I messed up and broke one. We're going to have 2 green and 2 red. And I'll make the same rose again, and we'll just put it in the bracelet. So you can do a bracelet just of the roses if you want. It's quite easy and it looks great. I've done different size Mobiuses, Mobii, I don't know the proper term. And I did a bigger one in the center and then smaller ones gradually out to the ends, and it looks so pretty. So play with it, make it your own. I have done one that I called a rose garden, and I did red and pink in the center and then greens on the outside, much smaller. And it's lovely. Okay, so put 2 together like so. Open up your 3rd one, and again, to open a ring, dominant hand horizontal, non-dominant hand vertical. The only hand that moves is your dominant, and it just pivots slightly, okay, like a motorcycle handle. Put this on, hold it, pivot back. You hear the clicking, feel it. If there's a tiny little bit, just readjust. Put these 3 together so that they're all going up and over the top and not wonky like this. This one's sort of out of place. You can see it right away. Oops, now I turn them all. Flip it. That's how we do it. I'm going to do a gold, a green, and a red. So pivot, drop them all on at once. Close. I always feel it just to make sure that it's closed well. Bring it up. Now we'll do green. And the last one is the red one. So you see how easy it is to make a Mobius unit. They are pretty, they're functional, they're just fun. I do quite often put a tiny Mobius on the end of my finished pieces. So I'll just take 3 rings of my small ones, join them together the same way, and dangle it on the end of the chain. So I'm opening this fairly wide, bringing this over, dropping them all on, and I'm getting it fairly close to closing, but because I want to join it, bringing this over, I'm going to pop the 2 rings that I have here. Do I have 2? Yes. Oh, I closed a little bit too much. I'm going to put these 2 rings on. This will be tight to close, but give it your best try. I'll try from this side. It's a little easier. Whoops. Give me 1 second. The one side, they are very close together. The other, they jumped 1 row over, so it's a little further apart. So I'm hoping to get this closed. Now, I generally work with a visor on, so I can see all these tiny things. And I don't know where it is this morning, so I've been doing this without it. My regulars will attest to the fact that I normally can't see that well, but it's getting better. All right, so there's the two. I'm going to add a single ring to the other side of my Mobius rose. Now, like I mentioned, you could do just these and make a lovely bracelet. Another thing is they make great earrings. If you hang them just like that, you can have a beautiful pair of earrings. Just put a earring hook at the top. Okay, I'll open this one a little wider because it's really tight in here. I'm just going to try and get it through all of these rings. I really tightened it up by putting the full thing, doing it with the two on the other side first before I put this one on, but that's okay. We can still do it. There we go. And now I'm going to start with two again. I'm going to take my lobster claw back off my piece just so I can show you what I'm going to do. All right, I'm going to add these two. Just like that. And here we go. Now it is tough to get two through here at times, and it's just, you find the way the rings are rolling and you go in between them. It's like there's a little ledge there, or a crevice that you can get into properly. Okay, so I'm going to take the lobster clasp off just because I want to show you how to do it from the center out. That's how I normally work. So I'm going to leave that there. And I'm going to attach this piece here. So I'm taking one ring, grabbing those two, grabbing two from here. Two, there we go. Closing it and adding a second ring there. Okay, so through these two here, and then up through these two. Just have to get it angled right so they go in. It goes in the same way as the first one. Okay, so that's my bracelet so far. If I lay it on my wrist, this is how it will look when it's on. I want this chain to extend to the center of the back of my wrist. So I have about 4 more sets of rings to put. So I will get started on that. You can also use a measuring tape, and it's really simple math. What you do is you measure your wrist, you take off the amount your Mobius ring has, minus, okay, so you subtract that. So let me just do it with my tape measure. I know my wrist is 8 inches, okay? So I want to take off, from there to there, 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to say 7 because it's not quite 8 inches. 7 inches I need of the rest of the bracelet. And then I'm going to take off an inch more for the lobster clasp and extender chain. So I need 6 inches. So you divide that by 2, and that's how long we need this chain to be. So that's 3 inches. So I need to come to about there for my half of my bracelet. Okay, so the math is whatever your wrist size is, minus the width of your Mobius, and then minus 1 inch for the lobster clasp and extender chain. Divide by 2, and that's how much you need on either side of your Mobius to make your bracelet. Okay, I hope that's clear. It's I like to do things like that so that I don't have to really think about it. If I have the math, I can just do it quickly, and I'm not constantly trying to figure it out. So we're going to continue on with our 2x2 chain. And again, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to unmute and ask. I'm happy to answer anything. And it doesn't even have to be about this class in particular. It can be about any chainmail or jewelry making. Okay. I do have a class coming up with Eventbrite in January. It is a paid class. It's $10 a person. And it's the alligator back. I'm going to check the chat 1 second. Oh, okay, Robin, yours is going to be a tree? All right, thanks, Kathy, for coming in. I'm just posting my information now. I'm hoping I can just paste. It's not letting me. Oh, there it is. Okay, so there's all my info. Sorry, there's so much there, but that's my email, my Facebook page, my Instagram, everything is there. Take a screenshot and you'll be able to go in afterwards and check it out. Okay, so I quite often offer free classes through groups like Figment and Scarborough Arts and a few others, libraries. So if you would like more information, just shoot me off an email and I'll add you to my email list. I only send out 1 or 2 emails a month. It's not a spammy thing. So, oh, you don't see the info? Okay, let me just check the chat. Let me see. Okay, let me try again. Sorry, I am slightly visually impaired, so I can't see that very well. And I may not have sent it to everyone.
If you're referring to Laurie's Craft Creations type information, it's not there.
Oh,
okay.
You know what? I'll do it for you, Laurie. I got it. You sent it as a direct message to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy and paste it and put it in the to everyone for you. So don't worry.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Yeah. Yes, I have visual impairments. I have had 1 surgery already, and we're just looking at some laser treatment for the rest of it now. So bear with me. I can do my chainmail quite lovely, but trying to read the computer screen from this distance just doesn't work for me.
All right. I sent it. Can everybody see it now?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome.
All right.
Yeah,
Thank you for letting me know you couldn't see it. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's helpful. Awesome.
I have a visual impairment question, if that's okay. Because I was
Sure.
just sitting here thinking, oh, I would love to do this with my family, like take a class with my mom and sister-in-law. And then I remembered my mom can't see.
Oh.
How, like, she can see, but she's got very bad vision. She gets a lot of, she's had a concussion, so she gets double vision, and she gets, how difficult would this be for someone who isn't used to playing rotorcraft?
I use a visor, a magnifying visor, and I will tell you, my vision last year in December before my first surgery was down to about 20%, and I was still teaching. You'll notice I feel every ring. That's why, because I can't see them that well. So I feel them to make sure they're closed perfectly. And that's just something I adapted because of my vision issues. So it can be done. You know, I'm proof positive it can be done.
Is the visor one of those magnet on a post things?
No. It's on my head perfectly. I don't have any slipping or anything. And it's just really nice. It helps me to see better. And everything is clearly magnified. And there's different levels of magnification.
It may be mentioned that it's found at Princess Auto. It's an auto
Yes.
for mechanics to use. Yeah. It was very inexpensive too.
Yeah. You know, a lot of them online are $80 and $90.
Really?
Princess Auto had it on sale for $7.
Yeah.
They're about $12 normally. And if you're in Toronto, Scarborough, Princess Auto is out by Scarborough Town Centre at Markham or McCowan? McCowan, just north of Shepherd, I believe.
I imagine Canadian Tire would carry them as well, but I don't know their pricing, but it fits with what Canadian Tire does.
Yeah, I just love Princess Auto. They have so many cool things. I mentioned another artist friend yesterday about Princess Auto. She'd never heard of them. And she went, and then she came back to me about an hour later on Facebook and said, thanks, I just lost a whole hour of my time. She'd been just scrolling through their internet site because it's so much stuff. And she had no idea they sold all those different things. So yeah, I would say give it a try. I do sell 3 kits. I have tutorials out, and therefore they're on my tree. I have 2 Christmas ones. One's a large snowflake, and one is a crystal ball covered in chainmail. The third one is a bracelet that I did have out yesterday, so it should be here somewhere close by. I think it's right here. I always have piles of chainmail on my table. No, I can't find it right this moment. Let me try one more. Oh, here it is. So this is the 3rd kit that I'm selling, and it comes with all the supplies and the instructions, full color photo instructions on how to create it. So if anyone's interested in those, just let me know. I have them available through my home. So I measured out, and I have 3 inches there, so I added my lobster clasp. Now I'm just going to continue on with the bracelet on the other side. And it's a very simple weave. The only hard part, or the learning curve, I should say, not really hard, is the Mobius and learning to open and close your rings properly. So you see I added 2 rings as I was going. I didn't close them yet. I'm just going to go back now and close them. I was baking cookies all week. I baked like 10 different kinds or something. And I went delivering them around my floor yesterday in my apartment building to my neighbors. And one of them was like, oh, that was the smell we smelled when we got off the elevator yesterday. So her children were very happy because they wanted to know what that lovely smell was when they got off the elevator, and now they have it. It was gingerbread.
It's intoxicating, that aroma.
Oh, gingerbread is just so good. Yeah, I did a bunch, but the gingerbread is the one that smells the best. Whoops. And that's why we call them jump rings, because they jump. That one I managed to catch before it hit the floor. When they hit the floor, we refer to them now as cat rings, because the cats take them. Beads, rings, whatever hits the floor belongs to the cats now. Okay, so I'm just going along, doing my 2x2. You can do 1x2, 2x2, 3x3 is really nice. I don't do a lot of it just because it kind of eats rings. It's a lot of rings for just a simple bracelet, but it does look nice. So experiment, see what you like the best. There are thousands, literally thousands of weaves to try, and they all look so different. They're so much fun. I love it that I can use the same supplies and come up with such different pieces. Okay, somebody just had something in the chat. I'm going to bring it up so I can see it. No, I do have tools for sale in my studio. I just don't have the Zurons anymore. I just sold the last 2 yesterday. Oh, yes. I'm just thinking, are you on Facebook? because if you're on Facebook, it's easy enough to find me. Just Laurie's Craft Classes.
It's called Laurie's Craft Classes.
Yes. And it's actually, even if you Google me, it comes up pretty quick. I've been at it long enough that I'm pretty close to or pretty much at the top of every Google search for it. So, and I'm on Google My Business. So if you Google Laurie's Craft Classes, you'll find me. And my email is just laurieporier@hotmail.com, which is also quite easy. Oops. Now, do you have a cell phone handy? Because you could snap a photo with your cell phone of the chat. That's one way to do it.
I was just trying to avoid writing it all out by hand.
Yeah. No,
And if it's
because
on my cell phone, I'll still have to type it out somehow.
oh yes.
I was trying not to have to write or type.
Oh.
I'm not good at getting
All right.
it correct.
Pilar, would you be able to send an email with all that information in it to everyone?
Yes, sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, we will get that for you.
And I have found you on Facebook.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty easy. I've been doing it long enough that it's a quick pop-up. All right, so I'm almost finished. Are there any questions? Everybody's been lovely and quiet and, chatting through the chat thing. Just feeling, I have one ring here that is not quite closed. I can feel it when I run my fingers down it. Whoops. That happens to me a lot. I end up gouging myself all the time. Try not to do that. Oh, cat here? No. Elastic. So I'm just trying to find that ring again. See if I think I got it closed. I don't feel it now. All right. And I want to show you one other thing. This is something I did recently, and it's like just my fun piece. I did the Blue Jays logo in chainmail. This is called an inlay. So it's doing the European foreign ones weave, which is one of the simpler ones. Right, Linda? But it's like cross stitch. You get a cross stitch pattern and you can do it in chainmail. So it's one of my favorite pieces, and he's just he hangs out with me. I show him off whenever I get a chance. Okay, so let's keep going. We're almost done. How's our time? Yeah, we have about 10 minutes, so we'll finish just fine. Now, what I want to tell you about the other end of this piece is when I get to the 3-inch mark for this chain, I will end up putting on about 6 rings, 4 to 6 rings, as an extender chain. Excuse the gouges, they show up all the time. So I'm just going to finish this off quickly and show you an extender chain. Extender chains are great if you're giving it as a gift. You don't have to know the exact wrist size. And they also help when you're trying to just do it up, because then you have a few extra rings that you can grab with your lobster. I don't suggest using magnetic clasps. They make it easier for us to put it on, but they also make it easier for it to stick to elevator doors, car doors, anything metal as you're walking past. People have lost them after walking out of a class.
Refrigerators, doorknobs.
Yeah. They're great for people with arthritis to help them do up bracelets, but they don't last. You'll lose it. I do like them as necklaces, because it doesn't happen like that. You don't lose it as often. Can happen, but not very often. Toggle clasps, the ones that you slip the bar through the piece, I do not use them as bracelets anymore because they slip too often. They have to be fitted perfectly to the wrist, so I don't use them. In fact, I taught a class this year, how to repurpose your toggle clasps. So you could use them all with making earrings and necklaces and everything out of them. but the only one I really suggest, there are two. There's the lobster clasp, like I have here, and then a gate clasp. And I don't think I have any out, but they're a round piece, and they have a section that pushes in and out, and it's called a gate clasp. They're handier for people with arthritis as well, just because they're easier to use. You don't have to use as much. You don't have the tiny little link to open and close. They're a little harder to find, and they're more expensive, of course, but they work great. So chainmail.
Laurie,
Yes.
can I show you what I made? They're like the little Christmas earrings. The Mobius is like a wreath at the bottom. I
let
used
me try.
red for the
Okay.
chain, and then silver, red, and green for the hanging Mobius.
Oh, here we go. 1 second. Okay.
Very.
Oh, very cute. I like that.
Christmas presents.
Yes. I actually gave out my 2 main Christmas presents yesterday to my girlfriends. We met in the parking lot, driveway of my apartment, because we don't know if we'll be seeing each other now over Christmas because of everything that's going on. But they got the Victorian drape ornaments, and they were very happy with them. So now they can go home and put them on their tree instead of waiting until Christmas Day to get an ornament. So Chainmail Supplies. I use aluminum. Now these are called BA or bright aluminum, the silver ones. The colored ones are called AA or anodized aluminum. It's a process, electrical process that they do to color the rings, and they're stable. They don't come off really. I buy most of my, well, pretty much all of my BA rings from a company called Chain Reaction, and they sell my kits online as well. And then my AA, I tend to buy either from the Ring Lord here in Toronto or Metal Designs out in Calgary?
Saskatoon.
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Thank you, Valerie. So those are the ones. And if you need any more information, just email me and I can send you links. But we're very fortunate here in Canada. We have some of the best ring manufacturers. And they use, I know Wally at Chain Reaction only uses Canadian aluminum. So that's nice to know. And he's starting into anodized, but he hasn't gotten many colors yet or sizes. I'm sort of his beta tester for his colored rings, and they're really coming out nicely. But he's taking his time so that he gets them all really perfect. The Ring Lord here in Scarborough, Toronto, I would not order from them for the bright aluminum because they're not bright, they're dirty. I'll be honest, I don't order. They're not shiny, they're not bright, they're just oily and dirty, and you can't get them clean without a good tumbler. Metal Designs and Chain Reaction, their shiny rings come this shiny right away. So there's a price difference between the Ring Lord and the others, but it's not enough to make it a big deal. Like, if you're spending that much time cleaning your rings, I think it equals out. You know, your time is money too. If you don't have a tumbler, and they've gone up in price and they're really quite expensive now, you can take an empty water bottle, put some Dawn liquid soap in, the blue Dawn, some water, your rings, and then shake it. Shake, shake, shake. And it will come out nice and shiny. Just give it a good rinse and dry afterwards. And it's almost as good as the tumbler. Tumbler, you don't have to do the work. Okay, so I'm just measuring this out. Oh, I'm already past 8 inches. Oh, because I added the extra one. That's why. So I'm just going to leave it, maybe add one last ring. And then because it's a simple weave, the lobster clasp can join on any of them. So I'm just going to pop one last one on here. actually, I'll make a Mobius unit for it. So I'm going to close this one, open another, drop it on, pull them together, put a third one, close it, bring them all together so they're all going the same way, and then take the last ring, the last ring of the whole bracelet, open it up, slip that on, and slip it on the last 2 links of your bracelet. Now when it hangs on your wrist, you have the little Mobius ball. Okay. And that's it. That's how you do the bracelet. Any questions? Oh, okay. So if you have trouble opening and closing rings, just keep practicing. I'm just going to switch cameras. Sorry. I like to talk to you, not at you. There we go. Yeah, I tend to switch cameras when I want to talk to people. So I hope you enjoyed it. I teach many, many levels of chainmail. And, you know, if you want to learn something, let me know. And I'll see if I can get either do it for the $10 classes through Eventbrite, my own bookings, or I'll see if I can get funding with one of the places that I do classes with, and then I'll invite you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. All right. Anything else, ladies, gentlemen?
Thank you very much. We'll talk soon.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Oh, let's see, Robin. I'm going to highlight you. 1 second.
We should go to gallery view and everybody show theirs off.
Yeah.
I didn't get particularly far because I didn't have a kit,
Yeah.
and I was making my own jump rings from scratch.
Oh, wow.
which
Very
I don't know how
good.
to do. I was making
Holding
it
it
up.
up, Robin. Let me see. If I'm going to take a little quick picture, that's
Try
great.
to.
I love show and tell. Show and tell is always so
Yeah.
good. And then I put in the link just to let everybody know that we are doing workshops until the 19th, and there's lots. Oh, Linny has her hand up. There's lots of free workshops, so check us out on Facebook too. Linny, go ahead.
Did you want to show us, Linny? You're muted.
Is not connected to audio, Linny.
Oh, okay. So let's just see. Oh, wow.
That's great.
You only had the bigger rings, right?
That's great.
Very nice. Nice job.
See.
When you get your kit, you'll be able to redo it.
Oh, look, I'm going to use my reactions here. I'm going to go. Ding, ding, ding.
It looks like a heart.
It does.
Oh,
You know what? Let me just.
very nice.
Oh, there it is.
Linny ordered a kit from me, so
Awesome.
it's being mailed off.
That's great. And Linny, where are you? Are you kind of far away?
I'll answer for you if you'd like.
Her
Linny is in Connecticut,
Connecticut. Okay. Well,
and Linda is in Costa Rica.
Yeah.
awesome.
Is there anyone else that's outside of the GTA?
I think it's just us now
Oh, okay.
left. But I
Oh,
love
Robin's still here.
Yeah, Robin's still here, and she's in Toronto. She's actually one of our artists.
Oh, okay. Welcome.
I am also in Scarborough.
Oh, nice. I'm up at Birch Mountain Shepherd.
I'm down by the bluffs.
Oh, nice. I have my work at the Bluffs Gallery.
Oh, nice. There, I added another.
Very good. I like that you made your own rings. That's impressive.
This is chopstick size.
Right. Yeah.
And random, where is it? Random metal bar size. I was like, what have I got to put wire around?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
those are my ring sizes.
Well,
Yeah.
that's so clever because when I was at OCA back in the day, I took jewelry and enameling, and they teach you how to do jump rings, right? So
Yeah.
you would wrap it around. We would use a pencil or whatever we had, whatever size we wanted. And then you either would use your little jeweler saw, or you could just use your little, I like the little snips. I had, the little short
Yeah.
snips. Boop, 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 boop. It would pop everywhere. So you would kind of do them in those ones. And I would get a little Ziploc bag, and I would kind of do them in the Ziploc bag because they go bing, 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 bing. But they would all go in the Ziploc bag. So I loved watching this. Wow.
I really haven't made my own jump rings. I've always just bought them. It's.
Yeah.
I go through so many.
Well,
it would be
Sure.
a whole business just to make them.
It would, indeed. It would.
But we're really fortunate because we have four great companies here in Canada that make and manufacture their own rings. The other is Hyperlinks, but they're only available through stores.
Mm.
So it's harder to get. You can't just mail order for them.
And what are the four producers of jump rings again?
So Chain Reaction,
Chain Reaction.
they're only a year old. They're doing great. Metal Designs with a Z at the end. Metal Designs. And The Ring Lord. One word, The Ring Lord.
Oh, the Ring Lord.
Yeah, they're like one of the originals. They've been around forever.
Right.
Excuse me, hiccup.
And I guess Lacey's isn't around anymore, because I used to get a lot of jewelry and findings and things from Lacey's.
Yeah, I know. I get, people donate stuff to me all the time.
Right.
And I get little bags and they say Lacey's. And it's like, But I think they changed to Transcontinental Tools.
Did they? Okay.
I believe so. Somebody told me that one day. I like Transcontinental Tools because I can go in and find any tool I'm looking for. I didn't even know I needed. Isn't that always the way?
It always is. It's like a candy store, you go in and you're like, oh, what's this now?
Yeah, well, John Bead Outlet here in Scarborough had their 50% off sale last weekend or the weekend before, and I went in and they were sold out of the tools that I buy, which was sad. And they were sold out of wire. I ended up only spending like under $40. I've never gone in there and spent that little.
Right?